because they're not artists. These are bean counters.
Yeah.
These are bottom line money makers, you know, that are just looking to
But you know what the problem is? You have to have an environment where I get there's commerce involved, but there's also got where art meets commerce, you know? Like, I haven't gone to see, the last movie I saw was Top Gun Maverick, and I saw it 4 times. It was an unbelievable movie. I saw it in IMAX. I go, that's why I go to the movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then, you know, I haven't, but other than that, that's the movie that's excited me. I remember I used to, I go look for the movies to see what was what or see what was playing, and I would go, like, but I mean, you look at like from 1975 all the way through the late 1900s, maybe, like there was such great movies, and now they've ruined their own fucking business from the inside out. It's amazing to me. Like, why streaming's the new thing? Well, how do you make money fucking streaming? Everybody's paying $7.95. I mean, or why don't you make a movie that people want to go actually sit in a fucking movie theater to watch? You know, you're not, you know, and you're catering to the wrong people. I mean, there's a demographic out there that has, you know, money that wants to go to the movies. If you made movies for them, you don't make movies for them. There's a whole group of people out there of an older generation that would love to go sit in a movie theater and watch those old movies. Like, you know, I mean, look at like Notebook, I mean, Goodfellas. I mean, you look at all these. There's some really great films. It's not complicated. You just tell me a great story with interesting characters that I care about, with great dialogue, and I'll go see. But they fucking. I mean, it's the 2 hours I'm not going to get back from my life from watching this thing. I had to watch this thing.
Have you seen that? Beautiful.
Check.
That's it. We're done. We're rolling.
We're done.
We're rolling, Jimmy.
Nice.
That's it. We did this before. But here's a big thing. I just got back from Ireland. You've been to Ireland.
I was there. They would do a thing called the Bulmer's Comedy Festival.
Okay.
And so it's in Dublin. I played the Olympic Theatre on Dane Street, which is downtown Dublin. It was Dom Herrera, it was Emo Phillips, Mike Birbiglia. But all the festivities and all the stuff around, I mean, it was my parents and my aunt and uncle, they flew into Shannon. They drove across and stopped in Galway and all those places.
Right.
And then they met us in Dublin. And I actually wound up getting a couple shows there was a Laughing Lizard Comedy Club there. Then there was the International Club, who was run by Des Bishop. And because I was there for the festival, I said, hey, can I get some spots? I said, sure. And they put me up. So, like, there was no microphone. There was no spotlight. You just go up on stage, you just talk to the audience. I'm like, you know, and it just smelled like BO and beer. It was just one of those things. It was just, but what a magical place. I mean, I did get to play golf in Ireland with 2 brothers. And the first day, the last 3 holes, torrential downpour. And we just toughed it out. I'm going, I'm golfing in Ireland, I don't care.
Yeah.
And we were soaking wet. And I mean, drenched. And the next day we got up and went to a course, and it was sunny, and we got the only 2 golf carts. We had because they don't have only 2 golf carts. And so we played, and it was just a magical, I mean, just I played golf in Ireland with my brother, 2 older brothers, it was just great. A buddy of ours, Tommy Gillian. And so I had the most, it was just, that place is magical. The people are nice. They're more informed about America and because all their relatives, a lot of that's the only country whose population has steadily declined because people leave to get out of there all the time.
Right.
And come to America as a long, rich.
Which basically they come to Boston.
Yeah.
I've come to find out.
Well, yeah, a lot of well, the East Coasters,
Sure.
They people don't realize that movie, Five Towns or 5 Points, that Martin Scorsese film with the Irish coming off, and they would get them off, and they would get their signatures and register them to vote, and Tammany Hall politics and all that old school, and then become cops and firemen. How the Irish entrenched themselves in American civilization. I mean, there's a great book, How the Irish Saved Civilization, written by William Wallace. not the famous William Moss, but this guy's another. But a terrific book. Like they talked about, St. Patrick, and you go to those monasteries over there. They've been around since. Like for forever, like old.
Yes.
And you St. Kevin's Cross, and all that stuff, and it's just a magical place. I mean, it really is. I had a blast. We had so much fun. One of my favorite trips because my dad and my mom got to see me perform in Ireland, which was great. And I got to play golf with my brothers. I got to hang out.
So you played golf somewhere near Dublin, right in that area.
Yeah, I think it was. What was the name of that course? The Isle Green is what it was. Yeah, so that was one of the, but really beautiful, just majestic. Did you stay in Shannon most of your visit?
Well, yeah, we stayed near Shannon. We actually stayed in Doolin,
right?
Which is right. You have the Wild Atlantic Way, which is the coastline from Galway down to the bottom, and along that way. You have the Cliffs of Moher.
Yeah.
So we stayed. I found my buddy Dennis Flanagan was going to be there for a month, staying in a little town called Finor,
right,
which was right on the coast, right on the water, just a little north of Doolin. So we just wanted to be close.
Right.
And I found this cottage. It was in the back of a guy's house. That literally we're on top of the cliffs.
Wow.
Looking out. And it was spectacular. And Doolin was just, a little, 5-minute drive down the side of the cliff, And so we just stayed there. That was about an hour from Shannon.
Yeah. Now, did you find the people? How did you find the people? Just.
Oh, they were terrific. Now, people told me I'd been to Scotland first,
right? And
years ago, went to the Edinburgh Festival, and then Pam and I went up to St. Andrews, and I played golf up there, and then we rented a car to Pam's Horror, and I drove us through the countryside to Pam's Horror the entire time.
Why? Because you're on the wrong side of the road?
Not just the wrong side of the road. That's not the big deal. Same way in Ireland.
Just that
it's
you were
the
driving.
Size of the roads.
Oh yeah, they're narrow.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, literally. And I think Ireland, as I remember Scotland to Ireland was even tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but everybody would always say that the difference between Scotland and Ireland, topographically, pretty much the same.
Yeah.
The look.
Yeah.
But the Scottish people are typically a little more conservative.
Right.
Protestants.
Yeah.
They're a little more conservative, and the Irish people are more gregarious and more outgoing and just more fun.
Yeah.
I found everybody to be nice in both places, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody that we met was fun and nice, and as far as the locals go, we went to my buddy Dennis it was his birthday. So some of the locals there that he knew threw him a little barbecue, and we went over to their house. And so we were with a family, of about, 15 or 12, 15 people there. That was cool because you're really sitting for, 4 hours with people that lived there forever, and they were great.
I find fascinating when you talk to the Irish people. First off, they have this very melodic. Let's go out and get a belly full of gargle. It's good to go get a couple of pints of the brown stuff. What is it? But their command of the English language, they're very well educated. The way they talk. I can listen to Irish people talk all day. It's fascinating because they have this very melodious thought, very melodious, but it's
lyrical.
Yeah, lyrical would be a great way to put it because they just the way they use words, their phraseology,
and I think that they are very the people that we met. Everybody's very intelligent about when you want to talk about the history of wherever you are and and they're not. I didn't find that the people I met there, the one thing I'd find in common, don't tolerate fools well.
Yeah. Well, I don't think a lot of people do. Yeah, it's like, especially over there where you get these little villages, everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And so they like, oh, here comes Jackie. He's a real drunk, or whatever. They know everybody's business.
Oh, everybody knows everybody.
Right, yeah. So they don't but like you said, they don't put up with it,
with any shit. And the other thing was, when we drove through the countryside, and when I drove through a shitload of countryside, I mean 2-lane roads, and when I say a 2-lane road, a big car. I had a subcompact SUV. That's a big car over there. That's a big car. When they build those 2-lane roads, I think they must have gone, okay, how wide are 2 of these cars? That wide. 4 more inches, that'll do it. I mean, literally, it's as tight, and every road's that way. And then you end up in these single-lane roads, right?
Yeah.
Where you got to back the fuck up if anybody's coming, or you got to pull in.
Or you got to go around a herd of sheep.
You can't get off the motherfucking road because there's these brick fucking walls. Every fucking body has a rock wall around their property. And we were like, what's up with that? Well, one, they got a lot of fucking rocks.
Yeah.
They got a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
But they like to define their property with rocks. Yeah. So you get on these roads, there's rock walls going down. There's no shoulder.
Yeah.
And that was the part that's, I mean, a little scary when you're driving on those roads there, as far as that goes. But the thing was, we're driving around through the middle of nowhere. You're on these little tiny roads, single lane roads for a while, and we commented, not one funky house, Jimmy. I didn't see one funky house. No, think about driving on country roads through the southeastern part of the United States.
When you say a funky house, what do you mean?
I mean like a funky low income, like you look like a shack, with fucking 2 abandoned cars in the front. One of them they're using as a planter, and just, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of shit, which you ride around in rural America. Yeah. That you see more of that than really nice homes out there.
Yeah.
Every single house was nice. Now, I'm not saying big and palatial. I'm just saying nice.
Yeah, but they also have acreage over there too. They have like a big front yard. They got those houses are pretty.
Well, yeah, but the thing that in talking to those people, the locals there, especially at this party. Where they 4 wonderful sisters. I was asking them about it, and they go, well, the reason being is, they go, their house had a view of the ocean. I mean, now their house is worth $1 million.
Yeah.
But they go, you know how long this property's been in our family?
Yeah.
400 years.
Yeah.
And that, you hear that over and over and over again. People don't sell off their family property. They've literally had it for hundreds of years. They just keep the houses nice and make them a little nicer, each generation.
Yeah, there's when I lived in Los Angeles up at the top of the hill, and all those houses have been in the families for generations because you could never afford one. I mean, they're $1 million houses, but the cars in the driveway are very like Camrys.
Right.
You could tell that these are generational houses passed down.
Right.
Well, people do that, but that's a great thing. I mean, how would you like to be the person who was in our family for 400 years and then Bob got drunk and sold their house?
Oh,
no, I know.
Oh, they string him up. Know. But that's the thing is, here you talk about a house like that, you're going back maybe 5 generations. You're going back maybe 100 years. Some of that. There you're going hundreds of years back.
It's fascinating.
When we got into Shannon, me and my buddy Dave, his last name's Fant, and he comes to find out, he didn't even know it, that at first he was doing that Fant's Irish, and and found out there's a Fant Castle. Right? Wow. So it's like a ruin, blah, blah, blah. So it's we get in at 6 o'clock in the morning. We can't check into our place till 4. We ain't got dig to do.
Right.
Let's go find this fucking castle. So here we go through the damn countryside looking for this motherfucker. And we found it. We found it a little below Limerick. And so we pull up on it. Well, it's a working farm. The people live there, and the castle's just kind of back behind their main house. You could see it's 5 stories high, just a square block. And we just happened to pull up as the woman, the wife, was pulling out, and my buddy gets out. He goes, "Hey, I'm David Fant." No. She goes, "Oh, great." She goes, "Look, my husband went to take the kids to school. I'll text him that you're here. He'll come over and he'll show you the whole fucking thing, right?" So that's okay. So we did. He took us inside it. He had fixed it up enough to where we could climb to each floor, and he knew all the history of everything. But his family, and now I'm not remembering that it's like McNair or something like that, they had worked that farm since 1750 something.
Wow.
The Fants built the castle in 1320 or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Fants had it up until around the mid 1700s, and that's when his family bought the land. Something worked out with that. But you go that the fact that this guy's family
I've had that house for
since 1750. I mean, it's unbelievable.
The oldest pub in the history of the world is in Ireland. The walls date back 1,000 years, like 1110.
Oh,
yeah, like 1110. They have the walls. They did carbon dating on the walls. Goes back to 1100, like the oldest.
And it's a working pub still.
Yeah, still working pub.
There's one. We were in of all places, Venice, and there is a restaurant there with a bar that advertises oldest in Europe, and it was early 1400s.
You know, I love the doors of Dublin. Like you go down, you see there's a yellow door, there's a green door, there's a red door, there's a blue door. I mean, it's only something you see in Ireland.
Yes.
And it's funny. I heard a story. I don't know if it's true, but it makes a lot of sense. Is that they used to paint the doors because the guys would come back drunk and they would go to the wrong house.
Only way they could find
it was the color of the door.
It makes sense.
But yeah, now you know, been there. But it's also funny. But it's called the Doors of Dublin. When you go over there, you see the doors are all different colored doors. It's pretty interesting. It's
when you go through all those little villages, you know, they all look the same.
Yeah.
And every building is painted, you know, like same as the door. There's the blue building, the yellow building, the green building, you know, boom, 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 right beside each other are homes. And the one thing that we said, and we went through, I don't know, 3 dozen of these villages at least. The one thing they all had in common, what was the first thing you saw when you went pulling the village? Guinness sign.
Oh, yeah.
Every fucking one.
Yeah.
That's how Guinness.
Well,
we have Guinness. Of course you do.
In Dublin, you go to the Guinness factory.
Oh, yeah.
And they make the water. They take the water right out of the River Liffey, like it's like mother's milk. It is, but you can go. They give you the tour of the brewery, and then you go up to the top.
Right.
And it's got a 360-degree view of Dublin, which is majestic and awesome. But also, you can have a nice fresh pint of Guinness, but they're poured right from the factory without any.
Nice.
And you know they drink it like room temperature over there. But Guinness itself is like, you know, it's a pretty hearty beer.
But also one of the healthiest beers you can drink.
Absolutely.
It's a low. It's what 4.3 alcohol content. The calories are low.
Yeah.
And it defies logic
and
because it's so rich.
And it's chock full of minerals.
Yes.
So it's actually a really healthy beer. Yeah.
Right.
And it's so funny because I could drink Guinness. I mean, I could drink 6 Guinness. I don't even feel like I got a buzz.
Right.
But that's why, because it's got the low out, but it's also really good for you.
It is.
I mean, yeah, I had a couple while I was there.
Yeah. We drank Guinness every day.
Yeah.
It's what you drink every day.
Yeah, and then they got the
Why get anything else?
Temple Bar over there where they play all the Irish music and the touristy little thing.
Well, that was the thing. I didn't go to Dublin this time, and I was thinking about maybe in the next year or two flying into Dublin and doing the northern part.
Yeah.
Because the McCurdy family is Irish, and we originated up in the very northwestern part. Bushmills is up there.
Okay, yeah,
little town.
Yeah, my family is a County Cork, Casey.
But you know, when I was there, nobody of the locals, when we talked about different places in Ireland, there was nobody that really said, "Oh, have you been to Dublin? You got to go to Dublin."
Yeah.
It was more like, nah, it's a big city. It's a hassle. Like we were playing this course, Galway Bay, right below Galway. We were just 15 minutes out of the city.
Right.
And we finished about 4 o'clock. Great. The head pro, Roland, was awesome. We got to know him. And I said, look, can we just run into Galway, you know, and park pretty easy and have a beer and then just to check it out? He goes, oh, no, man, it's 4 o'clock. He said, it's going to take you an hour to get in there. Then you got to find parking. So he kind of steered us off. He said, oh, just go to that little village. But like I say, I was amazed. So was Dublin a fun
Yeah, it was fun, and also the festival was going on, which made it even more fun.
Right.
And you had stuff to do, but also my family was there, which made it even more fun. And it is an international city. It's so funny. I've never seen everybody has an Irish brogue. I mean, Chinese people, Irish. They all, how can I get you for the puppy?
Did they have any problem understanding you on stage?
No. It was
because sometimes I've heard when the Irish talk, it takes me a minute to get an ear for it.
Well, I'm like that with the Scottish. I mean, what did he just say? You're having a room temperature like Godo man. That guy's got subtitles underneath his chin. What did he say? The Scottish I have a tough time with. But so much of the Irish people. But I didn't have a tough time understanding. But yeah, it's like I just talk slower. I'm going in October. I'm going to Riyadh. I'm going to Kuwait. I'm going to Dubai with Russell Peters and doing some shows. And you just kind of open it up and do it a little broader.
Right.
So I make it more accessible to people. So that's all I do when I do international shows.
Sure.
Just kind of.
Is that all military?
Well, I've done some military stuff. Yeah.
But this one is.
No. This is with Russell Peters.
Oh, okay.
Russell's a rock star over there. He's like a true international superstar. I mean, that guy sells out Hong Kong. I mean, Russell is really amazing. He goes, and you go over there, and I was in India with him. I toured after we did Last Comic Stand-Up, I did a date with him into Vegas, and then we went over to India, which is like being with Elvis, because Russell's Indian, and it's just phenomenal, unbelievable. What a great trip. I'm looking forward to it. So he goes, hey, Jimmy, you want to come to... I go, yeah, I'll go to Riyadh and Kuwait and stuff, and so you'll have to...
I'm amazed that he's still... Because... I mean, I there for a little while, I still noticed him playing clubs the size of mine in the States.
Well, I think he does because he's done like 6 or 7 specials. I mean, his process.
He's star-star.
He does clubs to work the hour out, and then he'll go tour on theaters with the new hour. Like he works it in a comedy club.
Right.
Like the way he's always done is that's his process. I've seen him post about it, doing it. I'm going to write this act in the clubs. Sure. Because that's where you write it, and then I'm going to take it on tour in theaters, which I wish a lot of more people would do. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because I saw Chris Rock. We're one of the only comedians ever bought a ticket to pay for it. I'm a big Chris Rock fan, but I was 2 weeks after he got slapped on the Oscars by Will Smith, and I went to the Hard Rock, and I was actually really disappointed. I was like, I think I laughed 4 times. I'm going, what are you... You don't go work the new hour out in front of theater crowds.
Right.
You go work the hour out in comedy clubs.
Well, that was something years ago. I was talking to Bruce Ayers in Birmingham.
Yeah, I know Bruce.
And of course you do. And so I noticed that Chris had been there, and I know that Chris had been there several times over the years. And I said, "How do you get Chris so often?" He goes, he's coming in working out. He's working out material, and he said, it looks great that I have Chris, but he goes, it's really, he's working on a show. So, and he won't do old material.
Yeah.
And so he goes, it's kind of hit or miss. It might be a great show, and it might be just kind of so-so, the very nature of working out a show.
Yeah, but you're doing it in a smaller club, and then if you take it on then when you go to do the theater shows, it makes sense because you got it all fleshed out. Right. I thought I was disappointed. I mean, I was real when I saw it. I was like, I thought. It was like he was working on stuff, and I go, "Don't you work on that?" And I think.
And the Hard Rock's pretty good size.
Yeah, and I thought it was, interesting that he wasn't even talking about the event. I mean, he wasn't even talking about the event that happened. I guess he had to process it. It was only 2 weeks after that.
Right.
So I was, hey man, I'm a Chris Rock fan.
Me too.
I've been for a long time. So I was just disappointed in that show because I thought he was just working out it it didn't have any semblance, and then he got off stage abruptly, and I was like, what was
he played our place way back when we were at that Holiday Inn Airport Marina.
Yeah.
And we had one banquet room we could put about 350 people in when we first started booking some celebrities, and he came in. He was right off of, he's maybe a year off of Saturday Night Live.
Right.
Of course, by no means the superstar he is now.
Yeah.
Or what? But he was still. I mean, he sold out everything.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what to expect.
I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just.
No,
saying,
I know what you're saying.
I was disappointed in the show. I'm a Chris Rock fan, but I see why guys do that. Well, the point of it was that's why guys go to clubs, because this way you get to see somebody in an intimate atmosphere, they get to work on the thing, and then when you go you're not working out in front of where you get 2,500 people going, what was that?
Yeah. It's one side thing to be in a 253 seat room. Another thing to be in a 2,500 seat theater working out.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, I've done 6 albums. I'm looking at my 7th one's getting ready to release. I'm releasing a new special called Clown Shoes.
Yeah.
Based on a line. I said, getting through life today. It's like walking through a minefield in clown shoes. So it's great. I just saw the cover art, so that's coming out soon. But
where are you going to do it?
I did it already. I filmed it at a club in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
My buddy Rick Bronson has a club out there.
Oh, yeah, I know Rick.
Yeah, and so we filmed it out there, and we just finished editing and putting the finishing touches on. We got some music. We shot a little sketch thing up front. So it's called, Clown Shoes will be coming out soon, and the album to follow. But I mean, it's so funny because when I moved to Delray, I thought, well, I had a good career, whatever. I thought, but I did 3 movies since I've been down here. I did that movie Don't Suck with Matt Rife, which is on Amazon.
Right.
Russell Peters is in that.
Right.
Jamie Kennedy. Great movie. Really kind of cool film. I just did another one called Topper, which just came out on Apple TV, which is a really good movie with some great actors and some Brian Callen's in it.
Cool.
Eric Griffith, our friend Kevin Mack wrote it and directed it.
I'm gonna look for that this weekend.
Yeah, it's a really great subject matter, and it's interesting.
If you're looking for something to do during Memorial Weekend.
Yeah, well, it's kind of comedy centric. Takes place, but the comedy is kind of in the background as to what's going on in the life. There's a guy who was in L.A. He's had a great career. He was a comic, and now he's kind of falling on his luck. He's sleeping on people's couches. He's drinking too much. He's just not, And his mom shows up and tells him his father's dying. His father was an alcoholic, very abusive. And he goes, yeah, well, I'm not a fan. So he goes back because she's going to leave him the house. And so he goes back to get the house in order. And then all he, and his girl, this friend of his, is in an abusive relationship with this guy, and he's abusing the kid. And so he goes back and he just deals with all these things in his life, and he corrects all these things in his life. Which, forgives his father, forgives his mother, clears everything up. He gives the house to the girl who has a kid, so she doesn't have to rely on anybody. It's her. And so it's really, and he just kind of corrects all these things from his past, which actually correct his future. And so when he goes back to LA, you see him on Tonight Show when he's back again. So it's really kind of a cool.
Who plays that part?
Believe it or not, it's not a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
It's an actor and a kid named Mark O'Brien, who was City on the Hill, and the female lead is Amanda Clayton, and she's amazing too. They're really good actors. And then Brian Callen's in it, and Eric Griffith's in it, and I'm in it. And Mark did a great job. I mean, for somebody who's not a stand-up, he actually did a great job. But it's a really, I'm telling you, I don't cry at movies. There's a scene in there. I was bawling at the premiere, at Newport Beach. I just had to shut off the waterworks. It was unbelievable. It's a powerful movie. And I led the.
It's called Topper.
Topper, yeah.
Topper.
And then another one called Puppy Love with Hopper Penn, Sean Penn's kid.
Uh-huh.
And Michael Madsen's in it, Roseanne Arquette, Wayne Newton does a cameo, Cowboy Cerrone from the UFC's in it. So that'll be coming out soon, hopefully. And I got my special. But it's just funny. I thought I would. But nobody films anything in Hollywood anymore.
Yeah.
They're filming in Atlanta. Or it's amazing to me. That's one of the things. I think, because I lived out there for 25 years, and I was just done. I'm glad. I love it down here. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And also, but it was. But as long as I'm able to keep doing what I do, what I need to do, I go, well, what's the big? We can live anywhere,
right? So you're just getting this through your agents and.
Yeah, you get these auditions. Yeah. I have a lot of friends of mine are writers, a lot of friends of mine are directors and actors that write and direct, and so I run in these circles with these guys, and they go, it'd be great for that. Sure, would be great for that. In fact, my buddy. Was supposed to do it, Kirk Fox, and he couldn't because he had other commitments. He was doing a show on Netflix, and so he said, it'd be great for that part. He goes, Jimmy Shubert, and so the guy got a. But when you have friends like that recommend you or go, right. Hey, you know what, would be great, and I call the director was doing it. He goes, my own mistake was not having you in my movie more. I go, why? He goes, you're fucking hilarious. So I play a manager in Don't Suck, but it's a cool movie. It's Matt Rife is in it,
yeah,
and obviously he's a huge sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Kennedy does a great job too.
Jamie was just here.
I love Jamie.
I do too.
He's such a great guy, man.
He is.
He really is. Really terrific human being, and a really talented guy. Like, people don't realize how much stuff Jamie Kennedy's done.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he has done more. I got a pretty good IMDb, but he's done everything. I mean, he's had a great career. You know?
Oh, absolutely. And I think when he was here, we were talking. He did a podcast.
And his stand-up show is great.
It is.
So I love that guys are that famous. Some guys just torn the fame.
There was somebody, a friend of mine, that came and saw Jamie and never seen him do stand-up before. And I don't know if he's really well versed with Jamie.
Right.
And he goes, "Was that guy drunk?" And I go, "No, that's him.
Yeah.
That's him. He's quirky. That's just the way he is, because he's not like your cookie cutter stand-up comedian."
No,
you know?
but his show's great. I just worked with him in the Black Box in Boca. I did a couple minutes on his show with Jason Rogers, and I got to watch his show. I mean, he's like, I love guys who put the work in. Like, stand-up comedy, you can't phone it in, you know, but you got to do it all the time. And so there's other guys out there that tour just on their name.
Right.
Like, I won't say, like, I've heard stories about Chris Kattan. But like, guys who don't work on the craft of it, and then they just sell tickets on name, and goes, "What was that? That was hard." Like, you know.
Right.
So I always appreciate and respect. Like I work with Kevin Nealon at the Black Box too. Kevin's show's great as well.
Oh, Kevin's here in 2 weeks.
That's such a nice guy.
Oh, I love Kevin.
Yeah.
It's like his fourth time here.
Hilarious, bro.
He can get away with saying the darkest shit.
Yeah.
And that delivery of his just allows it. I love how he can get away with stuff. He was doing this bit last time he was here about his son being, him being an older dad, and his son being young, and his son coming to him and saying, I'm worried about, you're really not going to be in my life, Doc, because you're so much older. My other friends' parents are in their 30s, and Kevin's like, well, people die in horrible car accidents every day, son. Most likely happened to someone in their 30s as me. And as a matter of fact, kids die in the middle of the night. You might not. I sat there and we're all laughing at it because it's the way he delivers it. Yeah. And I go, you give that exact same bit to most any other comedian, the audience would be appalled and just, like, what the fuck?
He was the bartender. He was the bartender at the Improv in like 79, like 78, 79. Les Moonves was the other bartender. They used to bartend together. And another friend of mine named Bruce Smirnoff.
Oh, I remember Bruce.
You know Bruce.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Bruce. He's one of my dear friends. He was like, I was the house MC and Kevin, and so he came down to see Kevin's show, and he said, man, it's the same guy. Same sweet guy. He goes, they came back, and it was like how it is when you see your old comedy friend from like the guys you started with. Sure. And so they just kind of like, nothing, no time went by at all. They just picked up and started talking. They're great though. But I mean, but yeah, I always like when people bring there's guys out there that work on the craft, because you have to, I mean, I take 2 weeks off. I get a little rusty.
Sure.
I mean, I love that these people think, like, most comedians I know don't get really funny till about like 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 years in. Like, you gotta get like 20 years in, and maybe if you find your voice earlier than that. Yeah. It just depends how much you're doing it.
Right.
But it takes you 20. I mean, conservatively, it takes you that long to be like a real, legitimate, monster headliner.
When I'm teaching comedy, and you get these, how many want to be a pro? That's in the class. I go, well, just to get to headliner. Now, the beginnings of it, just to get a headliner, is a 10-year process. So it's the same as getting a doctorate degree. Same amount of time and work. So decide where you want to put your time, but it is. And then, like you said, that's the beginning of you being a headliner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when
then
you're...
there's building a relationship, a nationwide a network of people that will hire you. And it's not about getting a job once. It's about getting a gig over and over and over. So you can, like, you know, a lot of people are putting this social media cart before the horse. And I always say, you know, you got to build, but yeah, so it takes. I always find it fascinating that they got these TikTokers coming. I go, what do you? I mean, how's the show? I can't. Like, I got to watch 10 minutes but you realize it takes that long.
I've had this conversation with several comedians who just us sitting around bullshitting in the green room, where, you know, we talked about, you know, here we are 30 years in, 40 years in, and you go, it took 2025 before you felt like it's almost a sin. About the time you really feel like you're getting just totally comfortable and you're about at the end of your career, you know, it's like, Jesus.
You know it's funny?
You know,
yeah,
you're 50 years old.
My buddy Mark Maron has a joke about that. He goes, it takes 10 years to build an overnight sensation. Unfortunately, it's the exact same amount of time it takes to build a complete and utter failure. You don't know, like the night before you get the 10 years in. But no, it just takes a long time.
Yes.
I always have respect for people who respect the craft and are willing to put the time in and develop themselves, even if they're not where they should be. At least they're working on it.
They love it.
You know, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, comics, once you get that, when you hit that 20 years, and that's why I have a lot of respect for, you know, anybody who's got 20 years in this business, you got automatically. You got my respect, just because I know, you know how tough this business is, and you know it's changing all the time. It's shifting, and I don't even think, but it's like, it's interesting because we were having the same conversation the other day where I talked about, well, you're running a comedy club, that's your brand. Like I would say to people, like I go, look, I go to a comedy club. Every time I go there, even if I don't know the guy, they're freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
like I'm telling you. I don't know who that guy is, but he was fucking hilarious. You can book your club like that, you know, 52 weeks a year, and then, you know, put your TikTokers on your Tuesday or Wednesday nights and let them bring in their own audience. But I talked to several club owners who say, I can't. They'll burn my club to the ground. These people work hard for the money. I'm in St. Louis. I put in one of these TikTokers and Ginger Billy comes up with his short shorts and his bare feet. They'll burn my club to the ground. They paid money. They want to laugh and they want to get, I mean, you know.
Well, you know, people, you know, and, you know, I don't know whether it's just the fact that our demographics here are so much older.
Yeah.
I don't get those acts even approaching me much.
Yeah, well, but let me tell you something about you can say that, but you have a very well-educated comedy audience. You guys have really trained your audience, and I mean, really, that's what you got to do. If you're doing you got to bring your audience. The show starts on time and no heckling. You're gonna, you know, so they're great laughers. I love performing for older audiences because they get all the references. They're not there to get hung up and sit in a chair and look for something to get pissed off at. They want to laugh, and if you're bringing it, they just, I mean, I have to tell you, the last couple nights of your club, people came out and said, you were terrific. And older folks, like older, I really enjoyed it. That was great. What a fun evening. And it's just, you know, it's a great room. It's a great club. But you're probably lucky. But you also cultivated and built this empire out here. I mean, they know what they're getting when they come to see clubs. And I say, like, you know, so a lot of these other, you know, like, places book these acts. I go, you're really stepping over $1 to pick up a penny.
Yes.
You're really, because you're not building your brand. You're building what could happen. Who's going to be there? I don't know. It's going to be some guy, and you know, it's just like, as opposed to someone going, I don't even got to go to the website. You're not going to find. No, I know. Every time I go there, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's like that. That's what I would be doing if I had a comedy club. Is building great shows with great acts.
Yes.
That just kill, whether the audience knows them or not. I mean, you guys do a great job bringing in the audience, and it's funny because I notice it's probably like my. Recent, like fifth time back, but people have come back to see me now. Yeah. You start to build a following here, and so, but you
know, growing up. My grandparents opened up a barbecue restaurant in 1929, and it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, for 57 years.
Right.
And here's what I learned growing up from them:
right.
Consistent product. Everybody walks through the door as a family member.
Yeah.
Consistent product. That my grandfather, he drove that in. It was like if you come in and you order that, and you don't come back for 5 years, and you order that, it will be the same. It will be the same quality. That's the deal. And then as far as service goes, you tell everybody, everybody you're waiting on is family member. That's how you wait on them.
Yeah.
And so people come in, and they, like you said, people go, "You want to go to comedy club?" I don't know. Who's playing? They go, "It don't matter."
Yeah.
That's and I hear that all the time. It don't matter at McCurdy's. It doesn't matter. I don't know who the fuck's there, but they'll be fucking hilarious.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was having these conversations with people, especially about, look what the music business, and look how they ruined the music business. I mean, Napster now it's a diluted product. I mean, Vince Gill said you can get one of my songs for 99 cents, and unfortunately, you can get the same amount of money you can buy an app that makes a fart noise. What does that say about my, but they ruined that industry. I mean, especially now the tickets are like $350 and it's all Ticketmaster fees but also it's like the acting thing. I mean, you've chased the entire acting thing out of Los Angeles. They're not even doing it. I mean, like I don't get these people have to ruin. Like, it's not complicated. You got to ruin everything. Like, they ruin everything, so you can't even.
Because they're and then my spin on it is because they're not artists. These are bean counters. These are bottom line money makers. That are just looking. But
the problem is you have to have an environment where I get there's commerce involved, but there's also got where art meets commerce. Like I haven't gone to see. The last movie I saw was Top Gun Maverick, and I saw it 4 times. It was an unbelievable movie. I saw it in IMAX. I go, that's why I go to the movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then, I haven't. But other than that, that's the movie that's excited me. I remember I go look for the movies to see what was what or see what was playing, and I would go but I mean, you look at from 1975 all the way through the late 1900s, maybe there was such great movies, and now they've ruined their own fucking business from the inside out. It's amazing to me. Like, why streaming's the new thing? Well, how do you make money fucking streaming? Everybody's paying $7.95. I mean, or why don't you make a movie that people want to go actually sit in a fucking movie theater to watch? You're not, and you're catering to the wrong people. I mean, there's a demographic out there that has, money that wants to go to the movies. If you made movies for them, you don't make movies for them. There's a whole group of people out there of an older generation that would love to go sit in the movie theater and watch those old movies. I mean, look at like Notebook. I mean, Goodfellas. I mean, you look at all these. There's some really great films. It's not complicated. You just tell me a great story with interesting characters that I care about, with great dialogue, and I'll go see. But they fucking. I mean, it's the 2 hours I'm not going to get back from my life from watching this thing. I had to watch this thing.
Have you seen that series that just with Seth Rogen, The Studio?
No,
okay,
I've heard about it.
The very first episode deals with what you're talking about. And Bryan Cranston's the head of everything, and Seth gets the job moved up, and he calls him in to tell him he's got the job to be the studio head, right? But he goes, I got one question for you. He said, one thing maybe bothers me about this job. I understand that you're one of those artists that want to make films. He goes, we don't make fucking films. We make movies. We make movies that make money. And Seth is like, yeah, that's just what I want to do. I'll do it, whatever, right? He goes, good, because here's the first one. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna go through the roof, man. Kool-Aid. He goes, Kool-Aid? He goes, yeah, if that titless, pussyless doll can make $1 billion, we're going to kick ass on Kool-Aid. He goes, the drink Kool-Aid? He goes, yes, get on it. And it's like the whole thing is like that's what you're just saying.
There it is in a nutshell. There it is in a nutshell. That's a great example. But I mean, it's like, I think that they're so afraid to take a chance. I mean, I love Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler has a business model.
Oh.
So some people, what they do is they'll get $100 million and they'll go shoot one movie for $100 million. He goes and shoots 5 movies for $20 million. and out of those 5, 3 of them hit and make a shitload of money, and maybe you got 2 that do okay.
And he's the richest of all the Saturday Night Live guys by far.
That's his plan, but that's a great plan. I mean, it's and he uses the same guys over and over. When you work with a team over and over, they know what you want, they know what you're doing, and so I find that really, really interesting that instead of doing $100 million movie, there's 5 $20 million movies, which is enough money to make a movie.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're an Adam Sandler fan, all of his movies are going to pay off for you.
Yeah,
he ain't going to throw you a curveball. Yeah. Hell, Cheech and Chong was that way.
Yeah, they did.
They gave him. Tommy told me, he said they gave us $1 million first movie, made 5, came back in. They go, we'll give you guys $1 million to do a movie. Any fucking time you want to do a movie.
Yeah.
And they, of course,
they made 5 movies with that $1 million.
Well, no, each movie they gave them $1 million. The first movie, whatever it was, made 5. Oh, and then they were like, we'll give you guys $1 million.
So they gave $1 million, the movie made $5 million.
Yeah. They go, we'll give you guys $1 million to do whatever kind of movie you want to do. But, they're all that.
I mean,
Cheech and Chong formula.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Now, a guy like Seinfeld did 9 years with the Seinfeld show. Want to do comedians in cars getting coffee? Yeah, we don't get it. I go, what kind of fucking track record do you need? I mean, Spielberg, Eastwood, both had to go outside the studio system to get money to make their latest movie. I mean, I love Clint's work behind the camera as much as I do love his work in front of the camera. But I mean, these guys Martin Scorsese, he's not gonna make a bad fucking movie, bro. What do you give him the money, you fucking jackass? But these people, he's a master filmmaker.
Of course,
I don't know.
He's a legend.
He's Spielberg,
legend.
But
legend.
They have to go out and fucking raise the money outside the studio system. It's like it doesn't make any sense at all. I know. Well, hopefully we'll see. I mean, I just don't get. They don't think this stuff through. Streaming, everybody's paying $7.95 to stream. How do you make $1 million on? Well, it got a lot of streams. Yeah, but how do you pay anybody? How do you pay anybody? At least with TV, there was a residual tracker and that. So it's they kind of I mean, again,
the thing to me with now the films, and we see some good stuff every now and then, but it just kind of comes out of like somebody telling you about it. But what always amazes us now is you go to watch the Academy Awards or the Golden Globes. I don't know half the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. I've never heard of them. I go, how did I not hear of half the movies?
Yeah, and then you go watch it, you go, that's fucking horrible. That won an I'm gonna sue you for a 2-hour delay.
Hey, listen, we're gonna wrap up, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. But before we do, let's say again the movies that we need to watch. Topper is one.
Yeah, Topper's on Apple TV. The movie Don't Suck is on the Amazon platform.
That's with Matt Rife.
Yeah, that's a funny movie. It's really a funny movie, and also the other one you have to watch out for called Puppy Love, which will be out soon.
Love.
But also you can go to my website jimmyshubert.com or find my Instagram, and when my new special drops, it'll be on YouTube, so you can watch it for free, and then I'll keep people posted about the album when that drops after that. But yeah.
So your special streaming, and you make no fucking money.
Well, I figured I'd give this one away. The funny thing, that seems to be the new business model because you give it, people can watch it for free, and then they'll come see you when you're live.
Of course.
And so, but it seems like, everybody's doing that now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the new business model. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'll get paid on the streams, and I'll also get paid on when they play your stuff on the radio.
It always kills me when they go, hey, we put a clip of yours up there, and it kicked ass. It got 1 million. Things. I go, did we get a quarter? Like a quarter a piece from the million? Did we get a dime? Did we get a dime? A nickel? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because it's like podcasting. It's like you do podcasting, you do all the stuff. It's like how does anybody make? I mean, it's so oversaturated now. How does anybody make any money? You
come to McCurdy's.
You're putting in real time. You're producing a podcast. You're putting a special. You're gonna give it away so people come see you live. But
all right, we're gonna play golf in the morning.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I look forward to it.
Me too.
All right, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.